Okay, so 6 months ago, I had a blood test which showed that my cholesterol level was 5.5. So although my GP never said anything to me, they weren't overly concerned, I was a little bit shocked because as a second year postgrad in functional nutrition, I'd just done the cardiometabolic module and I was like, whoa, the normal is 5 and below. So how is my cholesterol 5.5? I am 53 years old. I am menopausal. So I do understand that your cholesterol can go up when you are in your menopause because estrogen is a cardiac protector. So when we have fluctuations in our estrogen, our cholesterol can go up and down. However, I didn't want to use this as an excuse. So over the last 6 months, I have been looking at my diet and I have been doing various changes and my cholesterol level now is 4.5. So in this video, I'm going to look at what I've done over the last 6 months to change that cholesterol and share that with you. Okay, so 6 months ago, in fact, in May 2025, my cholesterol was 5.5. So over the last 6 months, or since May, I have been working on getting my total cholesterol down. And now, as you can see, in September 2025, it is now 4.5. So I want to talk to you about my non-HDL cholesterol as well. So you can see that in May it was 3.7 and now it's down to 2.9. So that needs to be below 4. So non-HDL cholesterol is basically any cholesterol in your body that isn't the HDLC cholesterol. So this is the LDL, this is also the very low LDL, and this can also be your ApoA and B. So let's talk about my LDL cholesterol. So you can see that in May it was 3.5 and now in my September results it's 2.7. And the final one I want to talk about in my blood results is my triglycerides, which is another type of fat that usually comes from ultra processed and processed foods. And you can see that in May it was 0.5 and now it's 0.4. And finally, the cholesterol HDL ratio. So this is basically the ratio of the HDL versus the LDL. And you can see that in May it was 3.1, which was still below the normal of below 5. And it's now down to 2.8. So let's have a little talk about what I've done over the last 6 months to make these changes happen. Okay, so before I jump into the foods that I've eaten to help me reduce my cholesterol, I just want to talk to you a little bit about why cholesterol is important. So we're not talking about removing cholesterol from our bodies completely. We can't do that because we need cholesterol for brain function and we also need cholesterol to help us create every hormone in our body, including the sex hormones, the cortisols, the thyroid hormones, the endocrine hormones. Every hormone comes from cholesterol. So we need cholesterol in our body. What I'm talking about here is removing the fats that lead to these other types of LDLs and triglycerides and things like that from our body. So we don't want too many LDLs and we don't want too many triglycerides in our body because those are the low density lipoproteins that go through our system, through our arteries and get stuck on the artery walls. And having too much LDL means that they could possibly get further on the artery walls and lead to strokes and heart attacks. Too many triglycerides, which are fats that come from ultra processed foods and processed foods, usually end up going round to the liver and then getting stored around our organs as visceral fat. And that's not the sort of fat that we want in our body. So we're not talking about removing cholesterol from our systems altogether. We're just talking about reducing the overall cholesterol levels and improving the HDL cholesterols in our diet and removing the lower density lipoproteins that aren't beneficial for our health. So how have I done this over the last 6 months to help me reduce my total cholesterol down, improve my HDL and reduce my LDL? So the main thing that I've been doing is eating healthy fats that will help increase the amount of HDL cholesterols that I have in my bloodstream. So these types of healthy fats come from oily fish such as salmon, mackerel, sardines. They also come from seeds and nuts such as chia seeds, flax seeds, pumpkin seeds. And what happens with these types of healthy fats is that we're eating fats that are going to increase our HDL levels and we are eating less saturated fats that are going to raise our LDL and triglyceride levels. Another thing that I have been ensuring that I do is I eat a rainbow plate. So having a rainbow colour of food on your plate, including proteins, healthy fats and fruits and vegetables means that you'll be getting a source called phytonutrients. So phytonutrients are plant chemicals that actually have been shown to enhance our own body's chemical reactions and are really beneficial for our health. The third thing that I've been doing, and this is probably one of the biggest things, is to ensure that I'm getting at least 25 to 30 grams of fibre in my diet every day. Fibre will help remove cholesterol from our digestive system, and it does this in particular ways. So for example, I have overnight oats at least every other day, and the reason for that is because oats contain a fibre called beta-glucan, and beta-glucan works together with the bile salts that are released by our liver when our food is being digested. And what the beta-glucan does is it takes the cholesterol from those bile salts and binds to it and prevents that cholesterol from being reabsorbed into the body, and therefore it will go out in your stool and out of your system. Another reason that fibre is super important is to do with your gut health. Now, I know that doesn't sound like it connects, but gut health is super important for your overall cardiovascular and metabolic health. If you have a healthy gut, and I mean your tummy, your small intestine and your large intestine, and the gut biome in there is optimized and is full of a variety of different bacteria, that bacteria will eat the fibre in our waste products and actually create what's known as short chain fatty acids. And these have been shown to be super beneficial for our overall bodies. Fibre also slows down the absorption of sugars. So if you have fibre in your meals, breakfast, lunch and dinner, you are going to slow down the absorption of any natural sugars or any artificial sugars or any sugars for that case that you're eating, and help prevent sugar spikes and also help prevent the increment of insulin resistance. So the final thing I've done over the last 6 months to help improve my cholesterol results and actually my overall health is to exercise. So I go to the gym at least twice a week, and I'm out on my bike at least twice a week. Now, you don't have to go to that extreme, but what you do need to do is you need to have daily exercise, whether that's a short walk at speed or a longer walk at a steady pace. Exercise burns calories, exercise improves muscle and bone density, and exercise helps remove waste products from your blood and your body. It also improves your cardiovascular system because you are breathing in and you are working your heart and your other organs. So my name's Anita. I'm a second year postgrad in functional nutrition. I'm 53, I'm postmenopausal, and if you have any questions about what I've discussed in this video about cholesterol, then do please pop them in the comments, and of course follow along if you want more advice on nutrition, health and lifestyle.